on up.
Everybody right there.
Get into it.
Everybody right there.
Get involved.
Everybody get. Come on.
Consumer advocates say new lawsuits have been filed. Community activists are upset.
Consumer groups are calling for a crackdown.
Consumer advocates in California are pushing for a law. Santa Monica Consumer Group is spearheading a federal lawsuit.
Consumer rights group is urging California's Attorney General to investigate.
The group is calling for a vigorous and persistent public review.
Foundation for Taxpayer and Consumer Rights.
Foundation for Taxpayer and Consumer Rights.
Get into it.
Everybody over here.
Get involved. Get involved. Get involved.
The nation's largest health insurance company, WellPoint, reported today its first quarter profit shot up 20%. Critics say that is partly because at least one WellPoint subsidiary, Blue Cross of California, is illegally canceling policies.
The law is very clear. The only way an insurance company can revoke coverage after the fact is if the individual hid a past medical condition.
Everybody over here.
Get involved. Get involved. Get involved.
Come on with your little come on.
Governor Schwarzenegger wants all Californians covered by health insurance, but activists with the Foundation for Taxpayer and Consumer Rights based in Santa Monica are not so sure that's going to happen. They say the plan does not guarantee the premiums will be affordable for everyone. Put simply,
insurance companies don't like to insure people who they think are going to be sick.
the seemingly endless list of undesirables includes people taking a variety of commonly prescribed medications and people in occupations like firefighting and police work. Expectant fathers are listed under the automatic rejection category.
Also at the Capitol, consumer groups are calling for a crackdown on what are being called junk health plans. The low-cost policies are leaving some patients mired deeply in debt.
My husband passed away from the cancer in 2002, and I was left owing $500,000 in medical bills.
Is our government yanking the patient protection reins away from states and handing them right over to the HMOs?
Your guest there should read the legislation. It preempts HMO Bill of Rights laws in 41 states. But what's the value of having insurance that if when you get sick, you have no protections and no guarantees? It's a piece of paper that you pay for, and when you go to the doctor, you don't get the treatment you need.
The California legislature needs to act to cap out-of-pocket costs for patients. Health insurance isn't insurance if it doesn't protect patients from financial catastrophe.
Everybody over here!
Get involved! Get involved! Get involved!
A consumer advocate group is calling on lawmakers to bring an end to so-called hot gasoline ripoffs in California. The Foundation for Taxpayer and Consumer Rights says consumers are getting ripped off by at least 3 cents a gallon at the pump every time the temperature climbs above 60 degrees. Oil companies could fix the problem by installing temperature-sensitive pumps.
Very clear the oil companies have threatened the manufacture of the temperature-adjusted pump with a loss of business on their regular pumps. Right now, oil companies are making about $500 million a year in profits due to consumers being shortchanged on hot fuel.
So where are prices headed from here? More now from NBC's Michael Oku.
Industry watchdogs say the oil companies are gouging consumers by indirectly controlling the supply.
They control how big their refineries are. They control how much comes out of their refineries. They control when they do maintenance.
This is clearly oil companies manipulating the price of gas.
Consumer watchdogs like Jamie Court will tell you it's the fault of big oil companies, manipulating not only the market, but you too. His foundation has spent the last 7 months investigating why gas prices were at their lowest the day before the November elections, yet mysteriously jumped the day after the elections and have been rising steadily since.
The Foundation for Taxpayer and Consumer Rights today issuing an open challenge to Governor Schwarzenegger.
Governor Schwarzenegger, we challenge you to hold a special session on this issue. If this governor doesn't deal with the high gas prices in this state, he is the girly man.
According to oilwatchdog.org, the oil industry spent over $123 million lobbying last year. $91 million was spent in California campaign contributions.
Anti-gouging legislation will soon be introduced in the state legislature here in California. We'll keep you posted on what happens.
Everybody over here!
Get involved! Get involved! Get involved!
Well, Dana, they're calling it Big Oil U, as hundreds of millions of dollars are gushing from big oil
onto local campuses.
And now his consumer rights group is raising questions about oil companies sponsoring research projects on local campuses.
Here you have companies that don't have very good images doing everything they can to associate with well-known, high-quality research institutions. And clearly they're burnishing their image because it's what I call greenwashing. They're trying to wrap themselves in a newfound mantra of concern about the environment.
Everybody over here!
Get involved! Get involved! Get involved!
Fundraising while legislating is as bad for democracy as Krispy Kremes are for breakfast.
A lesson on campaign finance reform.
In one of their videos now making the rounds on the internet, they offered to sell simple Krispy Kreme donuts to people leaving expensive fundraiser breakfasts. You can eat a lot cheaper and save democracy at the same time, was the message.
So I got 89-cent donuts. Tell me what you got for $1,500. Much cheaper. Did you decide to go for the 89-cent ones?
Oh.
Rather than $1,500?
No. Everybody over here!
Get involved! Get involved! Get involved!
Foundation for Taxpayer and Consumer Rights is the force behind a suit against Singular Wireless. The suit alleges that Singular deliberately provided bad service to its AT&T customers so they'd make a costly switch to Singular. If the suit prevails, more than 20 million past and present customers of AT&T Wireless could eventually collect refunds.
I spend about $600 a year less on insurance now, and thanks to you.
No, it's thanks to the people of California,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
it was the voters in 1988 who demanded it.
103 has saved Californians billions of dollars just on auto insurance.
So we see from the chart here, our organization has saved $800 million using Prop 103's intervention process just over the last 4 years. We'll be urging the state legislature to apply the successful auto insurance reform standards to health insurance.
Everybody over here!
Get involved! Get involved! Get involved!
Rosenfeld's group fought to have insurance rates based less on zip codes and more on a driver's record, experience, and how much they drive.
The only question here was, who's going to pay more, bad drivers or good drivers?
Now California Insurance Commissioner John Garamendi has issued his decision, and insurance companies will have to drop zip codes as a major factor in setting rates.
Everybody over here!
Get involved! Get involved! Get involved!
2 years ago, California voters agreed to spend $3 billion on stem cell research over the next 10 years. Now the state is coming under fire for proposed guidelines on how and to whom that money should be distributed.
People in California support stem cell research overwhelmingly, but they didn't intend to write a blank check for biotech. They expected to benefit from the research. Responsible companies will understand that with public money comes some public responsibility. And we're here today in what I think is a fantastic day for science. Looming over the whole field of stem cell research had been 3 patents. They essentially asserted the right to every stem cell in the United States. Well, yesterday the Patent and Trademark Office of the United States rejected those claims, every single one of them, on the basis of a challenge that we launched last summer.
We filed the challenge with the Patent Office. The Patent Office just this past week said, you're right, these patents don't belong in the scientific process. And as a result, we're going to see the laboratory door opened up in America for stem cell research.
Everybody over here!
Get involved! Get involved! Get involved!
Yes, there are many people who are grateful for American power, and justly so. Unfortunately, most of the people who are grateful for American power are those who have seen it used justly and honestly, used with candor, and used for good purpose. Okay.
Aren't you left-wingers who are crying so much about being attacked? Aren't you laughing all the way to the bank? I mean, it's helping your careers.
I don't know about left-wingers, and I don't know what you mean by that, and I don't know about all the rest of this stuff. What I do know is that there was an orchestrated campaign to stifle dissent based on the fact that people were speaking out against the Bush policies and against the war, and that orchestrated attack failed.
Do you believe that celebrities should be immune from criticism no matter how stupid all the things they say are?
Of course not. Should commentators?
What Hyundai did was cover up this incident. That in of itself, to me, is a culture that is absolutely reprehensible. Was Hyundai most interested in getting him out of the country to protect their corporate culture and to protect their corporation? One thing we know very clearly When they put that gentleman on the airplane and got him outside the jurisdiction of the United States and outside the jurisdiction of the criminal process, they certainly were not thinking about Ryan Cook, and they certainly were not thinking about the Cook family.
I think that it is our intention to deny cancer any control over us. I'm actually hoping that's one of the things that this discussion will fix, that people will see that, that you're not necessarily dying of cancer, but that you can also live with cancer, and that and you can live full lives, concentrate on the things that matter to you. You really have two choices here. I mean, either you push forward with the things that you were doing yesterday, or you start dying. That seems to me your only two choices. If I had given up everything that my life was about, first of all, I let cancer win. I don't want to do that. I want to live. And the only way to do that is to say, I'm going to keep on with my life.